Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Nicole with Ever the Light. Welcome back to my living room. Today I've got a quick heat me up flow. So if you're feeling kind of down, kind of blah, just needing a little heat, a little energy, a little movement, something to hopefully push you back into brightness. This is the flow for you. So let's start standing. Let's meet on our mats and just find our mountain pose. So maybe rock back and forth a few times from heel to toe, eventually finding stillness, engaging the quads. Maybe you feel the kneecaps lift and pulling that belly in. Shoulders might come up, back, and down slightly to lengthen that collarbone out wide, and palms can shine forward. If you feel comfortable doing so here, go ahead and shut your eyes or just soften or lower your gaze. And start connecting to your breath here. Noticing your inhales and exhales. And gradually beginning to deepen. Maybe lengthening those exhales a bit. We're aiming for full breaths in and out through this entire practice. And if there's any thought, word, feeling, phrase, or intention that you'd like to bring with you today, you can go ahead and say that silently to yourself now. Maybe it's as simple as, I am strong, or I accept the challenge. Whatever's coming to you, or nothing. You could just focus on your breath through this practice, if that's more aligned with you. One more full breath in and out. And then opening the eyes. If you close them, let's begin some movement. Inhaling, circling arms up overhead, gaze follows up. And then exhale, hands to heart center, chin to chest. A few more times. Up, inhale. And exhale, hands to your heart. Twice more. And last one. Let's bring both arms up. And then bring that left arm to your side, bringing right arm up and then over for a side bend. Maybe bumping out that right hip a bit, but keeping feet grounded here. Breathing into the side body. And then next, inhale, using that core to pull both arms up. And then just take the other side, left arm up and then over. Maybe bumping out those hips to the left a bit. And again, engaging the core to pull you up. This time we'll take a twist. So bringing one arm back and the other arm forward. Keeping the hips, keeping the pelvis facing forward. So hips remain neutral here. We're just twisting from the mid-back. Reaching in opposite directions, maybe gazing over that back arm or over the front arm. Whatever sensation is calling to you right now. And then inhale back up to center. And exhale, let's take the other side. I've got to adjust myself here. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist. Bringing both arms back up. And then hands to heart center. Take a few little hip circles. So from our mountain pose, maybe bringing hands to your hips. And just bringing hips to the side, forward, other side, and back. Making these little circles. maybe 3 or 4 times one direction, and then switching. Remembering feet are staying grounded here. Making small circles or larger ones, whatever feels good to you. You will see cats. I have 3 of them. They are part of my practice. Hopefully they don't fight. Sorry for that. And let's find our mountain pose once again. Inhaling, arms up. And then exhale, swan dive down. Find a forward fold. Let's take our time with this first one. Letting the head really hang, bending into the knees if that feels good, and maybe reaching for opposite elbows. Full breaths in and full breaths out here. Maybe you sway side to side. Maybe you stay in stillness. Eventually letting the hands find your mat or blocks. I didn't talk about them in the beginning because they're not necessary, but if you have them and you like to use them to bring the ground closer, by all means, go ahead and put your hands on some blocks here. Let's bring that left hand, or whichever one you want to start with, kind of in front and in the middle of our feet. Let's bend into that left knee. So same knee as hand that's planted. And then keeping that opposite leg straight and then twisting open and up. Maybe gazing up at your hand, taking a few breaths here. And then exhaling down, switch it out. So whatever hand you're grounding, bend that knee. And then twisting open and up. And then exhaling down. Let's slowly make our way up. So start by kind of bending into one knee and the other. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Let your arms dangle as you make your way up. Maybe you pause around the low back. That might feel good. And then eventually we'll find our way back to our mountain pose. And we'll flow through a few sun A's, continuing to warm up. And then we'll get into some flow. So let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale for that halfway lift, long spine here. And then exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back, find your plank pose, remembering knees can be down here. And then taking that push-up, elbows straight back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Find the mat. Let's come all the way down and take a cobra. Hands frame the ribs, tops of the feet push into the earth. And then inhaling that chest forward and up. And exhale down. Inhaling up through tabletop. And exhale, find a downward facing dog. Spending a moment or two in this first down dog. Maybe you walk it out, bending into one knee and straightening the opposite leg. Maybe you just stay in stillness and breathe here, really feeling this pose. Heels push towards the earth. They may never touch, and that's fine. We're pushing the ground away. Next, inhale, gaze forward. And then exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Maybe one step, maybe several steps. And find a forward fold. Inhaling for that halfway lift. Long spine. And exhale, fold. Root to rise. So push your feet into the earth. Come all the way up. Reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's keep going. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, find your forward fold. Hands to shins, long spine, halfway lift, gazes at the earth. And exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back, find your plank. Remembering again, knees can be down. And maybe this time you take that chaturanga, and then from here move into your up dog. So flip the toes, straighten the arms, and lift the heart, gazing at the horizon. And then exhaling, shifting back to a downward facing dog. Full breath in here and a full breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Root to rise all the way up, reaching up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's move into our flow portion here. So we'll make our way back to down dog. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hands to shins, long spine, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back. Maybe you take your knees on this one, moving through chaturanga. And then cobra or up dog, inhaling. Finding your downward facing dog on an exhale. Take a full breath in here and a full breath out. Inhale, find your plank pose. And then exhale, shift back to down dog. 3 more times. Inhale, forward for plank. Exhale, back down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. And once more plank. Downward facing dog. Let's lift that right leg up. Just about hip height here. So 3-leg dog, staying strong and evenly pushing through the hands. Take a breath in. And then exhale. Come up on those left toes. Bring your right knee to your chest and shift forward. Planting that right foot, we're going to come up to a high crescent lunge. So rising, finding your lunge, finding your stability here. Remembering that back leg is working. And we're going to play with balance a bit here. So let's keep hands at heart center. Take an inhale. And then exhale, 1-leg mountain, bringing that back leg up. Maybe it took a few steps to get there, and that's fine. Let's shift back, hinging a bit at the hips, finding that high crescent with the left leg back. Let's try that again. So maybe you kind of take a short step and then bring that foot up to find a 1-leg mountain. Whatever's working for you. We're going to do that 2 more times, so total of 4. High crescent, and then pushing off 1-leg mountain. Remember, your standing leg is working in this Ekapada Tadasana. So from your glutes to your foot of your standing leg, engaged. Last one here. And then shifting back to your high crescent lunge. Take an inhale and then exhale. Find your warrior 2. Bending into that front knee, tracking relatively over the elbow. Shoulders are pulled together if your arms are extended out here. Remember, feet are pushing into the earth. Next, inhale, let's reverse. So flip that palm, lift that arm up and back, and then exhale, cartwheel down. Find your plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, flip your toes, lift your heart, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. 3 full breaths in and out here. Awesome job so far. We're working. Next, inhale, left leg rises just about hip height. Stay here for a breath or 2. Or if you started with the other leg last time, just go ahead and do the opposite one. One more inhale. And then exhale, come up onto those back toes, bring your knee to your chest and shift forward, planting that left foot and finding your high crescent lunge. If you want to bring the arms up alongside the ears, that's an option. Just be sure you're not shrugging your shoulders. Oops, sorry about the mic there. That's an option. So same thing as we did on the other side. Take an inhale and then push off. Find that mountain pose. 3 more just like that. Remember that little hinge at the hips as you step back. And that standing leg is engaged from the glutes all the way down when you find that one leg mountain. 1 more. Excellent. And high crescent lunge. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, find that warrior 2. Opposite legs in front. And remember, that knee is relatively over the ankle. Feet are pushing into the earth here. Shoulders over hips. And shoulder blades together if your arms are extended out. Flip that palm up towards the sky. Inhale, reverse that warrior. And then exhale. Cartwheel down. Finding your plank pose and taking your vinyasa here. Inhale from plank. Exhale. Chaturanga, elbows back. Flip the toes. Straighten the arms and lift the heart. Upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Full breaths in here. Full breaths out. Next inhale, raise that right leg. And then exhale, shift forward. Finding a high crescent lunge. Inhaling up. One more inhale, and then one leg mountain. Exhale back. Finding whatever works for you. Maybe you inhale as you bring the knee up. Or if the exhale maybe is better. Just paying attention to your breath. So 4 times on this side. And then moving to our crescent lunge. I think I did 4. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, shifting to warrior 2. Keeping this front leg bent where it was. And finding our warrior 2 once again. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, cartwheel down. Let's take our chaturanga on and exhale. Maybe come all the way down for cobra. Inhale for your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Other side, left leg rises. And then exhale, bring that knee to chest, shift forward, find your high crescent, inhale. Take another breath or 2 to make sure you've got a strong base here, and then when you're ready to start moving back and forth, one leg mountain to high crescent 4 times. Let's hold that high crescent. Whoop. Embrace the wobbles. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel down. Find that plank. Take an inhale. And then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few full breaths here. Let's bring our knees down and take a brief child's pose, coming off those wrists. So big toes come towards touching, hips shift back towards the heels, and knees can come open wider towards the edges of the mat, or they can stay closer together. And come to forearms, or you can melt all the way down, extending the arms up towards the top of the mat. Beginning to wind down here. Let's come back up. Oh, I said wind down. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Let's shift back up to a downward facing dog. Oh, I lied. I apologize. Taking a breath or two in your down dog. And then inhaling right leg up. And exhaling forward. Finding that high crescent lunge. This time we'll shift to a warrior three. So bringing your weight really into that right heel, kind of hinging forward. And then when you're ready, whoop, maybe you use your wall because I just fell over. Lifting up. So maybe you stop, maybe that back foot just comes an inch off the mat. Eventually straightening that right leg, flexing that back foot so the toes are pulling back toward the shin, really pointing those toes towards the ground. Holding this for a few breaths, hands can stay at heart center, and then bending into the right knee and shifting back to your high crescent lunge. Awesome job. Let's walk that back foot forward slightly and bring that heel in towards the midline. Straighten your front leg, bringing that chest forward. Take an inhale and then hinge at the hips and fold over that front leg, finding a pyramid pose to kind of relieve the work that leg just did for us. You can come down farther if that feels good to you. You can stay up higher. You could have your blocks here too. And eventually coming back up, stepping that back foot forward and meeting at the top of your mat. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Just step straight back to down dog this time. And then we'll take our warrior three on the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, shift forward, plant that foot. Find your high crescent lunge. Taking a couple breaths to get yourself situated and stable. And then when you're ready, you can gradually shift forward, start hinging at the hips, and then play with lifting that back foot up. Keep that foot flexed. Gradually straighten the standing leg, and remember, it's working. Belly's pulled in, using the glutes of that back leg. And then shifting back to high crescent, bend in the knee and land. Awesome job. If you want to try those one more time, the warrior three, and pause this video and go ahead, go through it. For the sake of time, we're going to just keep going. So stepping that back foot forward, bringing that heel in towards the midline, straighten that front leg. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Hinge and fold over that front leg, coming down any amount. And then eventually bending into that knee and stepping both feet forward. Come to standing. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Start bending into the knees, shifting the hips back. Heels will come off the mat, coming down to this little crouch, this little ball pose. And then let's come to a seat. Extend the legs out long in front of us. Find the sit bones, so feet are flexed here and core is pulled in. Just taking a few breaths here. And then inhale, maybe your arms come up. Exhale, use your core to hinge at the hips. Arms are just along for the ride. Find this forward fold. And breathe. You focus on lengthening the spine here. And staying up a little higher. This might get into the backs of the legs a bit more. If you prefer to really sink, that is completely up to you. You could round if that's feeling better in your body. Let's shift all the way to our backs and find our bridge pose. So setting the soles of the feet into the mat, knees bent up towards the sky. Slightly hugging the shoulder blades together and down away from the ears. Hands can be palms down alongside your body. And then let's inhale. Push up. So heels push into the earth, glutes engage, core is engaged. Tailbone is pointing towards the backs of the knees here. Maybe you snuggle your shoulders under a bit more. And we're just going to hold it here for a few breaths. You can bend your elbows here too. Triceps can help you a little bit here, but most of this movement is driven from the glutes. Pushing through the heels. One more breath. And then slowly exhale down. Heel toe your feet out a little wider. And then just take some gentle rocks side to side. These little windshield wipers. So knees moving from one side to the other. I think you should congratulate yourself. This is a spicy little practice. So awesome job. I know I'm sweating. You might be too. I know I'm warmed up, so. Finding stillness, and then we'll take our happy baby. So bringing soles of feet up towards the sky, knees bent. And remember, if it's not there for you today, you can just reach for the inside of your knees. This is awesome. And you can reach for your ankles. You can hook onto the big toes or reach for the edges of your feet, the toe outer edges. Keeping low back as close to the earth as you can. And breathing. If there's any last little movements that are calling to you, maybe you roll out your ankles, maybe you take a little supine butterfly, any little thing that feels good, go ahead and take it. And then we'll set up for our resting pose. So if your legs are out long, letting your toes really fall open. And then palms up alongside your body. If you prefer a seated shavasana, that's perfectly fine. If you'd like to take or stay in that supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. That's an option here too. So many options for a resting pose. Tapping back into the awareness of your breath and just noticing its natural rhythm, not trying to manipulate it in any way. And reconnecting with any thought or intention you've brought with you. Letting go of anywhere you might be holding, clenching. Really letting yourself melt into the earth. We'll spend the next few minutes here allowing our practice to absorb. I would encourage you to pause this video and spend as long as you'd like in your Shavasana. And come back and unpause it, and we'll close out practice together. If you're ready to move on, let's bring some gentle movements back into your body. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Maybe a few more of those windshield wipers. Maybe pausing on one side and the other. Eventually, we'll make our way back up to a seat. Just take your time getting there. And then we will find our sit bones once again and be in a comfortable cross-leg position, or you can stay in this Baddha Konasana. Mine's a little bit more of a diamond shape right now. Whatever works for you. Let's bring our spine long and close out with 3 collective breaths. So taking a deep inhale, filling all the way up, belly, ribs, and chest. And then exhale out the mouth or the nose. 2 more like that. Inhale deeply all the way, filling up. And exhale, let it out. One more time. Deep inhale, biggest breath of the day. And exhale out. Thank you so much for practicing with me. My name's Nicole. The light in me honors the light in you. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you're warm. We'll see you next time.